Going live. All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to Gamehounds. Gamehounds episode 515. And we are recording this on Wednesday, September 25th, 2019. Our massive return back to Wednesdays. And we have Nick and we have Goalie. And it is
Wait, hang on. I need to go get some coffee.
Oh, I hate this guy. He still sucks after how many years?
I hate
I've
you,
got to
Nick.
keep my brand consistent. Oh, look, there's coffee already in front of me.
Oh,
I'm prepared.
Good. I'm glad. So anyway, yeah, we are back to Wednesdays. It's been a while. What?
How long did you have that job?
Almost 1 year to the day.
Okay. Yeah, I figured it was about a year.
Yeah. Like 1 year and 1 week.
Well,
That was it.
Well, at least you got to the anniversary.
Right. I got to the first opportunity where I could get profit sharing, which was no small amount, but unfortunately it just anyway.
I mean, profit sharing, it's just so offensive. Like, the moment they offer to share profits, you're like, fuck that. I'm out. I'm not going to be disrespected by you paying me more.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you made it a year. So, yeah, good job. You made a year at a job before you had to quit. All right.
And so if you, I'm going to wait until people actually show up. The chat room's populating very slowly today because
So do they know that we're in the thing?
That's what I'm about. I'm going to mention it when people are in the chat room, but we are actually video streaming this whole show live because we're using a new VoIP system. We're no longer using Skype. And this voice system is called
Streamyard.
And it seems to be working very well. A lot easier to use than pretty much anything I've had to use so far, including Skype. So, we're also on where are we streaming to? Streaming the video to?
Yeah, I just have it on my YouTube channel right now.
Oh.
Dave Gardner videos, I think, on YouTube, and that's just where I have my default setup.
Right, we're gonna stream to next week. We'll probably start streaming to the Gamehounds YouTube channel.
So what's good about the YouTube stuff is that it'll archive it.
Right. So we will always have an image of us, and you could see my incredibly dirty house right now.
I know, geez. Looking at Goalies, like, he's got a nice setup. You've got a background. You've got a desk. It's all organized.
And we got
a bunch of stuff. You've got some
you know what I need to do? I need to clean up this
Goalie.
area behind me, and then I need to green screen that image behind me. So my just
like a nice clean apartment.
It looks clean, right? This big spacious mansion looking clean.
Yeah, so we got a couple listeners in YouTube already. Captain Carl and Al Red Sox fans. They're my digital to dice buddies. And today we're the Gamehounds switched back to Wednesday afternoons, and so I figured we'd get them on Streamyard, and I was just gonna go live on my channel this week just to test it out.
Right.
What does let's see, what does Apachatta say? If you hang a green screen, no use cleaning.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Just clean up. Take a picture of my apartment or my flat, completely clean, and then green screen that behind me, and then just live like I normally.
Do you know what I have?
As a pig.
I have that. I won't pull it out now, but I bought this thing. It was like I don't know, it was $100, $150. It's about yay long. It's about 3-4 feet wide, and it's a pull-up green screen.
Yeah,
it just pulls up.
They're not,
and it goes back down
anymore.
Yeah, it's almost
green
like those
screen,
old.
Used
like
to be like
screen.
ILM had green screens. Now everybody has a green screen.
That's a good idea right there.
Can green screen and use picture of great.
That's a good idea, right?
Yeah, not bad. I'm okay with it. All right, so games. Nick, you know what? You got to get Borderlands. By the way, I have two massive rants right now. One of them for Greedfall, one of them for Borderlands. Which one do you want?
Well, Borderlands is the happy one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
do
you want to go happy first?
Negative. Let's start negative, and then we'll go into the positive. You know,
right.
you rip the Band-Aid off first.
Yes.
You know, the pain.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about Greedfall. I now understand, because Greedfall's had a Metacritic rating in the low 70s, never more than the mid 70s, and I couldn't understand it because it felt like a AAA. It felt like a AAA game, but being made by an independent company, Spiders, and it was it was lacking a lot of the emotional connection, and maybe some of the decisions you have weren't as weighty, or the decisions that you made there weren't very few gray area decisions. There was always a decision between right and wrong. And it's like, all right, there's a little bit of nuance there that's kind of lost because BioWare, it's part and parcel. It lives and dies by making you emotionally feel something for your companions. But overall, it's a solid experience. And then I hit the ending sequence.
How long was the game? How long do you think gameplay was?
If you ran through it and only did main mission quests and really didn't do any side quests, I'd say it was 40 hours.
How long did you put into it?
Probably close to 150.
What?
So you put 150 into Greedfall?
Yeah.
How?
There were several days that I woke up at 11 o'clock in the morning and played until 2 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m., and the whole time.
Is there even enough game there to...
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is there enough to do? I mean,
yeah.
I know the Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins, there was so much to do that I got easily 150, 200 hours into that game, and I still got more to go.
Right. Well,
Greedfall has that much to play?
It doesn't have that much to play if you just played it all the way through. Hey, Heartbreak Ridge is in the Spreaker chat room. Hey, Heartbreak, welcome back to Wednesdays. It doesn't have 150 hours if you just do one playthrough. I frequently went through like a good half of the game and then realized that I had made some decisions wrong that had nothing to do with the game itself, but had to do with the companion romance stuff. If you miss an opportunity for companion romance, you don't like Dragon Age. If you miss that opportunity once, you can usually go back and get another chance. But in Greedfall, you have 3 encounters with each of your companions. And if you don't answer exactly the right thing all 3 times, you miss out on all the romance. So, and you can only romance, you can actually romance multiples, but I chose not to. So I ended up playing all the way through, right? And then realizing, I really, and the one person I wanted to at least romance the first time, his opportunities all happened at the beginning of the game. So I had to start the game back over almost to the entire beginning, pretty much just leaving the tutorial area. Start that over, play it all the way through. Got about 2/3, maybe a little farther along than in that game. And then when I went to a specific area, I realized that the game had not told me to come back after one mission at the very, 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 very beginning of the game. And none of the quests triggered in that city. I always thought it was kind of strange that you had 3 cities. You had New Serene, you had San Mateus, and you had Hickmet. And there was hardly any quests in Hickmet, and I thought that was kind of strange. And I kept on looking for them to come up and looking for them to come up. Finally, I went to Hickmet, and I ended up talking to this one guy in Hickmet, and then all of a sudden, all of the resolutions from all of these quests that I had done way back at the beginning of the game started to trigger. And then I realized, oh, shit. And I was so far along in the game that I couldn't actually complete those quests anymore. So I realized, oh, okay, I missed a whole section of this game. I got to go back. So then I went back again about maybe a third of the way through and replayed it again. And then finally I realized, you know what? I'm just going to play it all the way to the end. I just got to get to the end of this game to see what the end of this game is.
A question. Is it an RPG?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's RPG like Dragon Age Origins.
Okay.
So, were you making different choices as you go through all these different playthroughs?
Yes.
Okay. So you were seeing slightly different things.
I was seeing slightly different things. It doesn't change the story hardly at all.
Were you changing your character? Like, you're going to play as a mage, then you're going to be a fighter, and...
No. I'd never gone back to the very, very beginning screen. I just stayed with myself.
You were just reloading an early save.
Reloading an earlier save. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I ended up playing a lot more than your average person for one playthrough. Let's just say I played it through for all intents and purposes 4 times.
I'm sure spiders love you for that.
Oh yeah.
No matter what you say next, I'm sure they're like, whatever. We got her money and her time.
And the thing is that while I was playing through the 3rd time, I was thinking to myself, you know, this game, I'm still enjoying playing it. I don't feel like I don't feel angry that I had to go back and replay it because I'm still enjoying even the missions I've already completed, and I know with how these missions end, I'm still enjoying them. So I was like, you know, this is a really good game. The fact that you could replay it and be perfectly happy doing so.
So this was a $60 game?
$50 game.
$50 game.
$49.99. Totally worth.
PS4?
PS4, Xbox One, and PC. All right. Now, let me get to the end where I realized why it is scoring so low. And it's a mistake that beggars belief. I cannot believe that somebody at Spiders signed off on this. So, little bit of a spoiler. If you're playing Greedfall, you don't want to know the end. Actually, you know what? I'll just try and make it spoiler free. Emotional end. Emotional end. So
you can give a spoiler free end and then get into spoilers because I want to know the details.
Nah, it's not going to change anything. I will by me giving the spoilers. It's just the setup of it. Very emotional end. You have done something. It's the one thing in the game that you feel actually emotion for. You have this relationship with this person that is so close and you really feel that your character really cares about this person, and you have to make a decision, and there really is only one decision: kill that person or save the world.
Okay.
So it's not really a decision for all intents and purposes. You know which way you're going to go. I mean, everybody's
there are multiple games that have ended with the same choice.
Right, but there's no... Right, that's true, but...
What makes this one so particularly awful?
You make the decision to kill this person. You lie, you stab him with a dagger, you ride him to the ground, you lie on the ground, you're looking up at the camera, your bodies are entwined, his is dead, yours is holding him. The camera pulls up, and you're just staring into the camera as the camera pulls back up into the sky, looking down on your 2 bodies entwined. Fade to black. Now is when you should have the final cutscene. However, what Spiders gives you is a static image and a voice telling you. After you saved the world, this is what happened. The love interest was a very good person. He was promoted to commander, and they always made a point to visit you at port. Another static screen. The continent was saved, and la 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 la. It goes through every single person that you meet in the game, and just gives you a static screen of how everything ended happily ever after. Which means that, first off, static screen, it was worse. Which was the Fallout that the ending was so bad that
Fallout 3.
Fallout 3. It was worse than the Fallout 3
already
ending.
I'm disappointed in your ending because I don't see this as a bad thing.
There was no resolution to this emotional crescendo with a cutscene. They could have cut any other cutscene, and put in a final cutscene. It is. I'm not the only one. That ending is the worst ending I have ever seen in a game. Not that the game ends the bad as far as the story. It's about how the mechanics of that ending comes out. It is so jarring and unfulfilling, and you leave like you hit this final moment where you finish the game and you get sepia tone pictures of your companions.
Yeah, a lot of games end like that. It's a common thing for low budget games to do because text is always cheaper.
But the thing is, yes, exactly. The thing is, I would have given up any cutscene. I would have given up the cutscene at the beginning of the game to get to that cutscene at the end of the game. And that's the decision that they made. They had a massive cutscene at the beginning of the game where you exit you exit, which is, I think I actually used it as a trailer, where you exit the tutorial area and actually go to the island, Tier 4D. They have a massive cutscene there. I would have taken that cutscene, put it at the end. But the thing is that if they'd have done that, then a lot of people wouldn't have stayed playing. They wanted to get you in.
Also,
they wanted
a lot
to
of
get you
people
playing,
probably wouldn't have seen it.
Right, exactly. But it was like
So,
saying, for those of you
putting
who
your money
actually,
where it matters.
Well, it depends. For those of
No,
you,
it's putting your money where it matters because most people don't see the end of a game.
right. But the people who do see the end of the game really love your game. And what that is it's like, okay, there's the gray area kind of decisions I would have loved in this game. Do I put something at the end, at the beginning, and get a bunch of people who will a few more people who will probably play the game a little bit farther? Or do I put the thing at the end to pay back all the people who actually spent probably what it would normally take to go through that game, 60 to 70 hours? To play through this game to see that ending, I've never walked away from a game so angry, and I understand now why the critics were rating it in the 70s, because that was the problem. Here's their problem of the way they did it. A lot of critics played it all the way to the end. And when they did, they hit that ending, and it dropped their Metacritic score. Because the whole time I'm reading these reviews, and they're like saying an unfulfilling ending, a lot of play, a lot of great mechanics that come to the very end, and that's what ended up happening. So I wanted to record Greedfall ending, so that you could hear everything that went on, but I just didn't want to ruin it for listeners.
The text that you sent and the level of anger that you had, I was excited to hear it, and now I'm just like, oh,
it doesn't change how angry I am.
No, I know. It's just
it works for a low budget game. This was not a low budget game. This was not. It was, but it didn't play like it. If you're gonna,
I know that's what I'm saying. It's just you had the expectations of a high budget game, but I'm just
felt like a AAA game right until that moment, and it makes me so angry that I spent 120 hours. Before, I would happy. I was like, this is great. I really enjoyed it. It was well worth 120 hours. The minute that happened, I was like, fuck spiders. Fuck this game. It just stole 120 hours of my life. And it literally happened during that cutscene.
You didn't have to play through it 4 times.
So you're in charge of the game now. What do you do different at the end? What is the Edie ending of this game?
The Edie ending of this game is to do a cutscene where you also allow the ending to not be happily ever after for exactly everybody in the game. That's the other thing. It would be one thing if it felt like I had made any impact on that ending, but I didn't, because everybody lived happily ever after, despite the fact that they couldn't have possibly lived happily ever after based on what I did.
Okay, so it's the content of the text as well.
It's also the content of the text. To go into it would have to be a little spoilerific, and if you want to turn this off for the next 3 minutes, I would recommend it if you want to miss some spoilers. All right, spoilers start now. The person that you kill at the end is the son of the prince of he was the governor of New Serene. He is the son of the prince of Serene, essentially the king of this city-state back home. You've murdered him. Thanks for the spoiler thing, Ellie. You've murdered him. There's consequences to this. There's consequences to you. You have to go back to, and teach your cousin as well. You have to go back to your uncle and say, I killed your son.
Wait, you said
the heir apparent, the heir to your throne, and you're supposed to, and because he turned into an evil creature that was going to take over Tirfredi, to a country that doesn't believe in this kind of mysticism. They don't think that there's actually a god of the volcano at Tirfredi. That's not an easy sell, beyond the fact that you've just changed all of the reigning dynasty, the future of the reigning dynasty. Like, what happens in Serene?
So you said this guy was the love of your life?
No, he was your cousin. And you grew up with him.
I thought earlier you said he was the love of your life, and then you said he's your cousin.
No, he's not the love of your life. You love him very much. You have a very deep relationship with him. You grew up with him. You feel like he's your brother.
What's wrong with the cousin? We've all made that mistake, haven't we?
In the new world, it's different. The old laws don't apply. New Serene, there's no law against incest.
Yeah, but that's not happening in this game.
That you know of.
It's like your brother. It's like a very dear, beloved brother that she's, and in this case, I was playing a female. Most people play male. But yes, so there can't be a happily ever after. You killed the prince of the country that you represent in cold blood.
I mean, it wasn't really cold blood, but okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. As far as they're concerned, you killed him in cold blood. Because he supposedly turned into a demon? Where's the proof?
So you would not recommend Greedfall?
I would recommend Greedfall with reservations. The reservations being that do not expect a satisfying ending. Enjoy the gameplay. Enjoy some of the missions are awesome. Oh, there's one mission. It's essentially it's a big. There's no such thing as a small mission in this game. It is a really big mission. It is kind of a big event in the game. It is so awesome. And the repercussions. That's the other thing. The repercussions of that event keep playing out throughout the game. And that's the thing. This is a game about politics. How do you remove the politics? There's no happily ever after you murder the prince. And additionally, it's all about repercussions in this game. Something that happens in the beginning of the game does keep having its implications in the later part of the game. You don't have anything to do with those events, and your decisions don't change how they play out. But they do keep coming back up. And there's a bunch of really good parts of it, and there's so much to recommend. But that ending, if you don't expect it, if you're expecting the grand final nail that, putting the hook on the button, finishing like emotionally finishing this whole thing out, you're not going to get it. You're just going to get an ending that sounds like it should have come out of Winnie the Pooh.
So you said this is a lot like Origins, but does it have any Witcher 3 or Skyrim in this?
Yeah, well, not so much Skyrim, because Skyrim is more open world. You can run anywhere. This is more, you have paths that you can run, and there's a lot of different paths, but it's more, you're not gonna like this game.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw you playing it on Twitch, and I was like, this looks like a good RPG.
It is a good RPG. The combat is really, really fun, and it is a really beautiful game. They did, up until that last scene, it does not feel like a double A game. It feels like a full-on AAA game.
How long ago did you beat it? Like, are the wounds still fresh? Or have you had time to mull it over?
I've had time to mull it over. The wound is still a little fresh, and the reason why it's as closed over as it already is because I was so angry about that game that I had to get another game to wash the taste out of my mouth, and I picked up Borderlands 3. I immediately picked up Borderlands 3. I'm like, fuck Greedfall, playing Borderlands 3.
Now we get to the good stuff.
Yep.
All right. So I picked this up myself. I'm trying to think.
In fact, you were on when I logged in.
I started watching it, and I just got the itch to kick back and play when I wasn't feeling good. I've been playing a lot of my sports simulation games. Actually, I picked up Stratomatic Hockey. Mm-hmm. I've never played Stratomatic Hockey, and I picked it up, and I've been playing that. And it's a tabletop hockey game. It's a lot of fun. But I didn't want to set it up and play. I just wanted to kick back on the couch. And I was like, okay, then we're going to get some Borderlands 3 going. It looked really good, and everybody was talking about it. So I was like, okay, let's get the Borderlands 3. And I was like, please don't be like the prequel. I did not like the prequel. I got sick playing the prequel.
The pre-sequel? Also the pre-sequel and the Handsome Jack collection. Both of them were terrible.
Yeah, I didn't care for them.
Not terrible. I didn't like them.
Borderlands 2 was unbelievable. One was okay. Never really finished it. 2 was unbelievable. I played it so many times through Borderlands 2. And I was pleasantly surprised when I heard it was more Borderlands. It was Borderlands 3. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying it. A couple of gripes, though, I got to say. Crying out loud. Why do I have to sit through 7 to 8 minutes of that intro to create a new character? I have not found a way to create a new character without going back and starting it over and going through the whole thing and the intro. You can't skip it. And then you got to play right up until they do the first little cutscene and say, okay, which Vault Hunter are you? Holy cow. It was
the old one was like that too. I remember that the old one was like
just let me create a new character and boom, get into it. Because I was trying to join your game because you had just started. So I said, I'm going to join your game and I'm going to be level 1. 20 minutes later, when the stupid thing got done, I was finally able to join because it created my character, and I still had to do a couple of stupid missions. But it's like, come on, did not care for that. That was kind of weird. But
2 is exactly the same way. I remember both 1 and 2.
I thought you could skip the intro. Maybe that was Diablo. You could skip the intro then.
Diablo was the one you could skip the intro. Anyway, so we were saying.
So that is my one gripe. Is if you want to start another character, it's like pulling teeth. And then what was the other gripe? Me and you had the other night. We were playing, and it was like, wow, that is really odd. We were trying to do something simple in the game, and I was like, I don't know if it was join each other, because you can't set it up for friends. It's either invite only or it's public.
There is that. Yeah, you can only do invite only or public. You can't do open to friends, which is kind of an odd.
Yeah.
thing to have because I would love to have my game open to my friends, but I don't want to make it open to the public.
Yeah, me too. It's like, I don't want somebody jumping in, but I can't just jump into your game unless you invite me.
Right.
And there was something else that we were doing in the game. I said, we got to remember to talk about this on the show that we were like, yeah, this kind of stinks. And it'll come to me as we play. But yeah, it's the humor seems a little forced this time.
Yeah, the humor's not. Yeah, well, a lot of it. I mean, that's what makes Borderlands so great. Is the kind of irreverent toilet humor. I would say toilet humor, but it's funny. It is a funny game, but it's still missing kind of that. The writing is just not quite on point.
I think
I've heard that's the biggest criticism of it that I've heard.
Well, I think that they're being more careful with what they say because the last one what was the last one? 8 years ago? Did Borderlands 2 come out?
Yeah.
Something like that. It was a while.
It's a different world we live in, and people's feelings get hurt a lot more. So
I don't think that. No,
I do. I
don't think they made that decision because
I believe a lot of that comes in.
It's not the topics. There's still just as many.
They're not as spicy. They're not nearly as spicy.
It's not that they're spicy. It's they're not as well written.
I've laughed quite a bit. I have, but not nearly as much as I did in 2. And so I'm not exactly sure what that deal was. But it plays pretty similar. It does. It does. It plays a lot like 2. If you like 2,
right.
You're gonna like this.
Exactly. It hasn't changed much. The thing that hits me is that one of the things Borderlands has always done is that sometimes you will pick a character class just because you're trying to fill out a group. Like, that this group of yours is already playing, somebody's playing a Siren, somebody's playing this, somebody's playing that. You take the 4th unused class so that you could have a fully rounded out group. And a lot of people I know do that and end up really falling in love with their character. That once they start playing it, they can't imagine that they ever played any other type of character. And this is happening again. Their character classes are so great feeling. They're the skills that you get feel well balanced and solid. And once you start playing whatever trust me, you're going to make a decision of whether you're going to make which class you'd prefer to play. Honestly, it doesn't matter. All of the classes are
the 2
fun.
I played are fun. That one that I got, the Mosey.
Who are you playing?
I'm playing Mose or Mosey or something. And she's got the mech.
Yeah,
the mech.
I've seen the mech. The mech looks cool.
Yeah, and actually, one of the guys in the chat, Al Red Sox fan, I started playing with him, and I upgraded the mech to put a seat on it. And so when I fire up my mech, I just jump into it like I'm a transformer. And he jumped into the gunner seat, and it was great. And then when we played, Edie jumped into the gunner seat, and that's how we beat the first big boss in the game, was by using the mech. And it's funny because I'll start shooting, and then I'll hear a second gun going off, and I know that you were in the seat shooting away because I was like, "Are you on yet? Are you in the gunner seat yet?" And then all of a sudden, it's like, I was like, "Okay." And what I did notice too, and this is for Al who's in the chat room, when you jump on the gunner seat, the fuel goes down a lot slower. That's what I did notice. Because if I'm by myself playing, I might get 10 seconds of that. But if you jump in with me, I get closer to 15 or 20. So with 2 people in there, the fuel goes down a lot less. So right. I did notice that about the mech. But yeah, and my other gripe is you don't get to upgrade your backpack or anything till you get to the ship, and it's a long time before you get to the ship. And that's in a way it's good because you have a lot of game time under your belt playing the game. And I think I had $13,000 on me too. But by the time I got to the ship, I needed all of that. But I was just throughout the game, I was like, man, I keep dropping guns, and I want to sell them, but I can't. I need a bigger backpack, and it took forever to upgrade the backpack. That was one thing that I didn't really care for.
Yeah, it's I actually have a fully upgraded backpack because as you get farther along in the game, money becomes no object, and having money in your backpack or having money on your character is both a good thing and a bad thing. That if you die, it costs you hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. If
to
you
respawn.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people with it that have prestiged, because I had somebody that I ended up breaking one of the missions. I ended up killing the bosses inside of a chamber before the chamber door was open, and it ended up breaking the mission. It's kind of a long story. But it was essentially a bad design flaw that didn't take into account that I might leave a mission halfway through. Because when I went to come into your game and play your game night before last, Goalie, it hosed my mission. And it hosed my game because it was a main quest. And it was the only mission I had on my I had to pass it in order to get to the next part. So I had to go into somebody else's game. This was the 4th playthrough that he was playing, which is amazing to me because this game is out, 2 weeks tops?
Yeah.
So he handed me literally millions and millions of dollars. And he's like, upgrade your backpack now. So I went and I upgraded my backpack fully.
Oh, you did one of those people. Great.
Yeah. So I've got 40 slots, and it is kind of nice. But the downside is that you've got 40 slots, and now you pick up everything, and you end up in the same situation.
Oh yeah, I get mine 3/4 upgraded, and I'm still filling it. But that's how you make money, is selling all that stuff.
Right. So if you like Borderlands, if you liked we're not talking about Handsome Jack, we're not talking about pre-sequel, we're talking about 1 and 2. If you liked Borderlands 1 and 2, or 1 or 2, you were going to like Borderlands 3. Not quite up to the same amount of humor, but man, is it fun to play. It is such a good run and gun game.
And one thing I noticed, it seems like there's a lot more combat. I am doing a lot more fighting than I remember in Borderlands 2. And there was obviously fighting in Borderlands 2, but it just seems like, okay, I need to get from here to point A to point B, and you have to walk. And it's like you come around the corner, bam, 5-10 minute battle, 15-minute battle. Then boom, you finish that, you get all your stuff, you go around the corner, and another 5 or 10 to 15-minute battle. It's like, wow, I am really fighting my way.
Yeah, it used to be. Well, I think it's because in the original Borderlands, certainly in the original Borderlands, it was on Pandora, which is kind of this desert planet with lots of space in between, where the only thing you had to deal with was maybe some skags. Now you're on, at least the planet I'm on right now, is a city planet called Prospera. And so it makes sense that you would run over more mobs trying to kill you. And yeah, you pretty much are shooting the entire time.
Yeah. And it's a little funky too. We were trying to do the missions, and we were trying to figure out where to go to find this guy for the missions. And you were the one that actually found out how to get there, because we were going through the menus. It's like, how do I get there? Where do we go? We kept going the wrong place. And then finally you were hitting the filter. You hit the filter on the mission chart, and that actually showed, okay, this is where you need to go.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, enjoying it. Very fun. Mm-hmm. It's a good co-op
Nick,
game.
you got to get this game.
This is fun. Borderlands 3.
Yeah, you got to get this game, Nick.
I bought 3.
Your microphone is not down.
Oh, is this your first time on a podcast?
Yes, it is. I have to keep moving it up so that I can drink coffee without annoying people. But I bought 3 other games. I recently realized that physical games are way cheaper than digital games.
Yeah.
Last week I was talking about not Kings of Amalur Reckoning, Kingdom Come Deliverance, another awful name. But it was on sale for $30, and I was interested but hesitant because I'd heard things about it. And so I actually found this website that shows you the sale history of a game on all sorts of different platforms. Like when it went on sale, how much it went on sale, has a chart so that you could actually see, oh, it went on sale on PSN in July. So, maybe if I wait a month, it'll go on sale again, and something like that. There was one line in that chart that was always lower than everyone else, and that was Amazon. And so this game that was on sale for $30 on PSN, I picked up for like $16 on Amazon. And then that got me just browsing for all sorts of games that I wanted on Amazon and picking them up for cheaper. So I got that. I got Pillars of Eternity, which is a game I've been wanting, and I got Control.
Mm-hmm.
And because the physical, I have to wait for them to get here because I'm also too cheap for Prime. So they should be here tonight. But I can't pick up Borderlands 3. I just spent a whole bunch of money on other stuff.
That is an awesome name for a band, by the way.
What?
Too Cheap for Prime. Come on. And now, welcome Too Cheap for Prime. Woo!
I can get behind that.
So
So yeah, I
what
probably
else
won't
you
be
playing?
picking up Borderlands 3.
But what did you play this week?
I have been playing on my phone
Mm.
because
Ookie bookie spelookie. Here it is.
Apple Arcade was released,
Oh.
and the first month is actually free. So I immediately signed on to that and just started downloading like literally fucking 20 games just all at once. That anything that looked mildly interesting. Wow, thanks goalie. Thanks for the header.
What's the header? I'm not looking at the thing.
Oh, you don't have the room up? I've been putting the stuff in the room.
You don't have it?
No, I mean I was looking at news and stuff.
I'm paying attention.
I've been putting all the chat questions up on the screen.
But yeah, Apple Arcade, I think it's actually worth it. If you're interested at all in just games on the phone, it's definitely worth it for $5. The stuff that you get is really good. There's a nice variety of things. So, of all the things I downloaded, one of the ones I was most interested in was Overland. And I saw this at PAX and talked about it at PAX. Was like a post-apocalyptic turn-based game where you're trying to run from little rock creatures that come out of the ground.
Oh. Do we need this? Do we need this right now, Nick?
No.
Oh, okay.
See,
I don't want to spoil any mobile games on the show.
Oh, no.
I don't want both mobile players to listen to us to quit listening. But you go on.
I'll give you a fair warning when I talk about level 4 and the snow. The snow level.
The snow.
But Overland, it worked really well on PlayStation when I played at PAX. Doesn't work so well on the phone because you can't zoom in. And all the stuff is fairly small on the screen. And for some reason, a lot of the menu options, when I tap them, I have to double tap them for it to actually take effect. And then sometimes I'll double tap and it'll just exit the menu. And I'll have to reopen the menu, double tap, and then it'll do what I selected. So the interface on mobile is not so good. The game itself is still interesting. I just wish I could. I think it works better on a console. What is good on mobile, though, is something called What the Golf, which is something we saw at PAX years ago. It is a golf game that sort of doesn't give a shit about golf.
Oh, wait. I think I remember this.
We
played it. We played it at PAX, right? The
PAX
East.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, the first level is you, a little guy standing there with a golf club, and when you pull back to swing, he goes flying instead of the ball.
Right.
And so you knock him until he smacks into the pole. And then you become a house, and that you fling the house everywhere. You become a bike, and you basically run the bike through ramps until it runs into a golf pole. And it is shockingly big so far for a game about golf that's not about golf. The number of things that you hit instead of a ball is impressive. And I'm still playing through it. It's a sizable game, and it keeps coming up with new ways to make it interesting. Some levels are more like a pinball game than a golf game because you can re-hit the ball as it's flying. And so you basically have to fly around obstacles, avoiding, flying off the edge. So What the Golf is a cool pinball-esque golf game. Speed Demons is the Burnout game that I've wanted for consoles, but EA has just been an asshole and never made.
Okay.
It's a simple game. You don't have to worry about acceleration. You don't have to worry about gas. All you do is just go left or right. It's a top-down view as you're looking at this highway filled with cars and filled with opponents. And so all you're doing is just trying to dodge traffic or then run into other opponents, depending on what mode you're playing. Because there's a ton of different modes. There's one that's just a straight-up race, one in which you're trying to take out specific targets, one in which you're just trying to take out as much other traffic as you can, one in which you're trying to run from the police and not get taken out, and then checkpoint one, where it's like you have to, every checkpoint you hit, the last car gets destroyed, and so you just need to survive that until you get to the end. But each one has a time limit, 1 minute and 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 40 seconds, something like that. So they're really fast. But the game has that sense of speed that made Burnout fun. And the controls, you just hold your thumb on the screen and slide it left and right. And your car skids everywhere. It's drifting everywhere around this other traffic. And it feels really, really good. It feels very intuitive. And it gives me the ability to have cool moments where I'm being chased by 3 cops and I slide in between 2 other cars and the cops run into them. So all of a sudden I'm free to go and I go and win. So Speed Demons is really cool. And because let's flick through a couple other ones. Spec is a neat puzzle game that just has to do with perspective. You move along the outline of 3D shapes, but you only see them in a 2D way, and so you kind of have to rotate them. Oh, fuck off, goalie. You have to rotate them to try and get to certain points on the shape, but they are 3D. You only see it in a 2D perspective. It's a cool puzzle game. Patterned is almost just like a jigsaw puzzle game that's very chill and relaxing. Mini Motorways, though, is probably one of the most interesting and frustrating games I've played. You are basically making a highway system. Well, not a highway system. You're making a road system. You'll get a map, and on that map, different things will start popping up. You'll either get a workplace or a house, and there'll be different colors. You got a yellow workplace and a yellow house, and you have to connect them with roads because the people got to get to work, After a while, another house will pop up. Then maybe a blue house will pop up, and a blue work will pop up, and you've got to connect those. And so as these places start popping up on your map, you have to create road systems that connect them all. But it starts popping them up in really, really inconvenient places. So you'll have a red house pop up way in the north, but the red work will be way in the south. So you've got to spend a lot of road connecting them, and it also takes a long time for the cars to get there. And so as these places start popping up, your road system becomes very, very complex and messy. It just becomes like this spider web of network roads, and it's very easy to understand a place like Boston where you're like, why the fuck is the road like this? Where am I supposed to go? How does anyone know what to do? It's because of situations like this where they made the roads a little bit at a time and were not thinking ahead because you just like, shit, we need a road. Let's just build a road from there to there straight.
Oh, Boston roads, they're terrible. They just it's like looking at it's like a bowl of spaghetti.
Really I fully understand how that happens after playing Mini Motorways. But then you get to moments where you fail if not enough cars get to the destination at a time. And so there have been moments where I make a bunch of roads and I try to make them nice and clear. And I have a bunch of red houses in the north trying to get to a red work in the south, but they're just not getting there. And I'm watching them going, motherfucker, you have a straight shot. There's not a lot of intersections and stoplights. Why are you going so goddamn slow? Just fucking move. And it's like being stuck in traffic. But I'm watching these virtual cars just slowly.
Why would you
away.
play? Why would you play a game that you're stuck in traffic? That's like playing a game where you go to marriage counseling. Serious, you want to get away from this stuff.
But
I don't want to sit in traffic. I don't want to go to counseling. I want to kill things. I want to do things I don't do in real life. Come on. I want to have sex with elves in The Witcher 3. I want to kill things in Borderlands 3. I mean, I can't do this stuff, I can't do some things in real life, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Why would you play a game where you sit in traffic?
Next up, the part of this game is that there's a bunch of different levels, and each level is sort of based off a real city. So I've been playing a lot in LA, which is very congested, and I have to make bridges over different areas. There's another city that's based on Beijing, but the thing is, there's no win state. All you do is you keep building roads.
There's no winning in traffic.
Nope, there's not. You just last as long as you can. That's it. It's just build your roads and last as long until your city shuts down because there's too much traffic.
It hurts. It hurts right here. It hurts.
You can't win. All you do is play until you lose.
You just took away all the pain in my stomach and put it in my forehead. Oh.
So that's why I say this game is very fun, but also very frustrating.
Because it lost all of our listeners.
It makes you understand why traffic is so fucked.
Oh.
So, yeah, mini motorways. You know what? Play it for free.
You know what? It might be the same game as Mini Metro. I've played a game. Ah, okay.
There was actually an article on Kotaku that was like, Mini Metro is great, and it shows how to make an efficient public transportation system. Mini motorways is fucked up because it shows how much traffic sucks. It just shows how inefficient traffic is. And so I've downloaded a whole bunch of other games, and I'll probably talk about more of them each new podcast. So you have
I hope you do. I hope you do.
I know. You've been so excited for this.
I've been on the show, listen to your useless game talk on mobile devices.
Hearing me talk about mobile games. This is why you're back.
You have sold more mobile games to me than all the commercials on TV, let me tell you.
Then my job is done. That is what I've tried to do with my life, is to sell mobile games. But I think Apple Arcade is worth it. I think the games are good. The number of them and the variety of them is good. And if you find one that's like frustrating, it's very easy to just delete it and move on to something else. Like you don't feel like I don't feel burned if I play a game and I'm like, this is okay, and then delete it. Otherwise I've spent $2 and I've done that, and it's like, well, even though it's only $2, I still feel burned because you got my money. But this way, it's like, oh no, there's just the ones that I mentioned by themselves are more than enough to justify like the $5 price tag. And so to have 100 other things that I could play in that time, it's actually a very good service. I'd recommend it to anyone interested in mobile games. And also, as a bonus, no microtransactions in any of the games.
That's actually good. That's good.
Yeah. So
I don't mind. I don't mind spending the money on a game. It just I don't want to have to keep spending money on a game. My wife gets she's on the iPad. Speaking of mobile games, and every night she's got a new game on the thing. Oh, it's so hard now. I got to spend money if I want to get to the next level. That's the idea behind the game. I'm sitting there. I can't get. I gotta put 3 pieces of pineapple over here with this watermelon, and I can't do it. I gotta find a new game. She must have 100 of those games on her iPad, and she plays them every night. It's like, we got to get you Borderlands 3 or something.
Because she played Borderlands. I remember that.
She played too. She played back in the way back in the days of the 360. Yeah, she did play a lot of Borderlands 2 with us. Back in the good old time. The time before time.
I do want to say, I see in the chat that AI Red Sox fan said I think he's talking about mini motorways. What that game needs is Godzilla. That game would be so cool with Godzilla. If you If you could just like build the functioning city and then destroy it, that would be so satisfying. Just as a fuck you to all the traffic.
Maybe there's a Tokyo download.
Jaeger says
Tokyo is a city that you can do. So.
Jaeger's saying it's $4.99 a month. You are spending money on the game. Which is this?
I'm talking about Apple Arcade.
Oh, okay. All right. True.
I mean, but again, the first month is free. So so far I have played all these games without spending a dime. And if I want to, I could just cancel it and, get my last month for free. But like I said, I think that price tag for the quality of games is totally worth it.
So if you were to guess how many games are on there? So $5 a month, how many you get, do you think?
They said there's 100. I haven't counted them. That seems like a logical number. That would make sense. They say they're exclusive, but what that really means is just they're not on Android because they're still coming out on Steam or PlayStation or things like that. What's weird though is I don't think you can buy any of these Apple Arcade games in the App Store proper. Like if you just wanted to go out and buy What the Golf, I don't think you can do that. I think all these games are purely exclusive to Apple Arcade. So, I think that it's good that the price tag is low because if you just want to play one game, $5 is not a huge ask for that one game, but I still think it's interesting that you can't get any of these in the App Store proper. Like Apple really wants to encourage you to sign up for its arcade.
Okay, but there's enough there you think that it'll keep you going.
Oh yeah, like
you play a lot of mobile games, so this makes sense for you.
Oh yeah, I was looking forward to this, and at least once I saw the selection, I was looking forward to this.
Heartbreak Ridge says exclusive equals not on Android.
Yeah, and I guess it is worth saying one of the interesting things is you can actually pair a PS4 controller with the iPhone now.
I think you can, yeah.
So all of these games are playable with a controller. Like I did that for some of them, and it's interesting. Just playing a controller with the phone, and pairing it is actually really easy. And then to pair it back to the PlayStation, you just plug it in. So, yeah.
And I just want to put out to the to people in the Spreaker chat that we are streaming live on video. Everybody's on video except Nick because he doesn't have a freaking webcam. Who doesn't have a webcam?
I know, it's 2016.
I like Humble Bundles.
Yeah, chat. What are your thoughts on Humble Bundles?
I always love Humble Bundles. I go there, every once a month or so when stuff resets, just to see not just the game bundles, but book bundles, other bundles.
Mm-hmm.
Go bundles.
Nick, you got a fan in the chat room. Obviously, he's a new listener. So
yeah, I put out goodwill into the world, man, and it comes back to me.
Heartbreak Ridge says, "Oh, thank God, I could not watch Nick for a whole show."
It's tough listening. I can imagine watching.
You're not even watching it.
Yes.
Watching.
So
I will say, looking at the two of you, you are much more well presented than I am now.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, anybody watching the chat room, I had to change shirts because I had a sweatshirt on and I forgot. Oh yeah, we're having a heat wave. And so I was starting to sweat, and I realized I'm just going to change channel.
We're having a heat wave here, too. It'll be done by noon. That's the type of year it is. You wake up, it's 50 degrees. You put on a sweatshirt, you go outside, it's like, whoo, I'm roasted. I got to put on some shorts. And then by supper time, it's like, where's my sweatshirt?
See, that's fall, and I'm okay with that.
New England.
But yeah, no, we've been hitting 90s today.
We never got. Oh my gosh, we haven't done a weather.
Oh God, it's been so long.
All right, so long.
Can we get the weather up? We should really have Goalie's weather has its own
segment. We need a segment.
Yeah. It needs its own
music.
Intro music.
Yeah. So the weather update here. Let's see. What can I do? Okay. And welcome to the Gamehounds weather update here for September 25th, 2019. I am Holy Goalie here on the East Coast, and it is typical fall weather. It is freezing cold at night. You got a blanket on. You wake up in the morning by 11 a.m. You got shorts on. You're running around with a wife beater on. And then supper time when the wife comes home, you're all bundled up with the sweatshirts once again and the electric blanket. Over to the West Coast. Nick, what is the weather over there?
It's sunny.
Who's that guy? Who's that family guy? What's the weather? Raining.
It's California. What the fuck do you expect?
It's sunny. You're right. It's sunny.
It's sunny. Mild temperatures.
It's slightly warmer than mild.
Maybe where you are. I'm fine.
Do you have air conditioning?
No.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday was kind of hot, wasn't it? I mean, it was like.
Was it?
It was like almost 90 here.
Okay.
Oh, that's hot. Yeah.
For us, that's very hot. I'm literally on the water on the bay, so we rarely get over.
I do not think it got
low 80s
where I am.
Okay, so mild, sunny.
Okay.
It's California.
All right. Well, should we
cool at night?
We'll have to do the weather update. That'd be a good one to have.
Well, how's your weather, Goalie?
Oh, it actually is pretty hot.
I just said my weather. It's roasting outside, but in a few hours it's going to be freezing.
Okay.
So, what do you think? Is it time for the Gamehounds news?
I think it is. Let's hit. Wait for it. Let's hit the news. This is the Gamehounds news. The news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie, Holy Goalie, and Nick DiNicola. Oh, it's so nice to see that together.
Get the band back together.
Yeah.
All you had to do was quit that corporate job. That's all we had to do to put this thing back together.
Yeah.
You were corporate Edie for a while, you know, the pantsuit and the whole bit and corporate limos and
no, lifts, but yeah.
Same thing.
So anyway, first item is anyone?
Yeah, hey, I got something here.
All right.
So, Franchise Hockey Manager 6 has been announced to be available October 11th. That is the 6th version of Franchise Hockey Manager. And with this one here, they've added a couple new wrinkles to historical mode. So if you want, you can control the expansion of the league. So in other words, if you remember the original 6, hockey had the original 6, if you remember hearing that. And now there's like 32 teams. Well, you could go back to the original 6 and keep it at original 6 and never expand the league. So fun things like that. You can also play any team against any team. You couldn't do that in the past. So if you wanted to play the Wayne Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers against from the 1988 season, let's say, you wanted to play Bobby Orr and the Big Bad Bruins from 1969, you can now play those teams head to head. So that's something that was brand new, added this year by popular demand. And you could always do that in their baseball games. But for some reason they never did in hockey. Now you can do that. So they've added a whole bunch of features in Franchise Hockey Manager 6. And I'm actually looking forward to playing that. I did enjoy 5, and now I'm looking to play 6 with some of these new features here. Because I like to play the old teams. I'm the old guy, so I like to play the old team. So October 11th, that's when that comes out. Franchise Hockey Manager 6 from Out of the Park Developments.
Speaking of release dates, Last of Us 2 finally has a release date. Good, Nick. I know you're excited about that. February 21st, 2020.
Soon. Plus, way sooner than I thought.
What? I mean, it is, 6 months away?
I thought that would be a fall game next year.
Oh, no. It is at least for the moment, it is a spring game.
Like, between that and the Final Fantasy is coming out early next year. The beginning of the year is stacked.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be a very busy year. Games director Neil Druckmann said that it's going to be the longest game that Naughty Dog has ever made.
Interesting.
He doesn't know, it doesn't have an exact amount of time that it's going to take to finish the game, but he says it is by far the longest already.
Because Uncharted 4 was pretty long.
Yeah, it was. I had a very good friend who lives up the street from me who is like, you're really into video games. I was like, yeah. She said, I don't think I've ever seen a video game since like Pong. What are they like now?
Yeah.
And I thought, I really should bring over a game and play it at their house so that they could see it. And I was thinking I was going to probably get Uncharted and bring it over because that's a great game to watch. And I'll throw it out there to the Gamehounds listeners. What is a good game for somebody who doesn't know anything about video games, modern video games, certainly not in the last 20 years? What would be a good game to show
Her
somebody?
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 11.
No, not doing that. But a game that shows why people are so into video games right now.
Even if we weren't into it, Red Dead would be interesting just for like the big expansiveness, the graphics, look we can do.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that Uncharted essentially is Indiana Jones, just playable.
Oh, yeah. Any Uncharted game would be fantastic.
Super Mario Brothers 64, maybe. I don't think so.
No. Look, ease her into the modern day. First, give her 3D graphics. If she's starting with Pong, Mario 64 is going to blow her mind.
Yeah, but still, it's just going to be a grown person dinking around. That's like showing them Boogie Bunnies. By the way, speaking of throwback to the past, engineer Kevin logged in to his Xbox 360. So on his Xbox account, and now instead of it saying last logged in 10 years ago, it now says last logged in yesterday. He wants to play Rock Band 3 again. We have sold we have sold the disc.
Oh.
And you can't get it downloadable anymore because they don't support it. They've delisted it. So we got to find a disc. If anybody has a spare disc of Rock Band 3 that you need to get rid of, please contact me either through Facebook or send me an email at esellers@gamehounds.net. And we kind of need that because I really don't want to spend $20 because you can get them at some GameStops, like Kevin was saying. Oh, there's a GameStop down in Fremont that has it for $20, and I'm like, we're not giving GameStop fucking $20.
It's a long way to go for Rock Band.
Exactly. And then eBay stuff is always
hit or miss.
What is it? Was it on Amazon? It can't be that much.
30, I want to say. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're looking it up right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, check out the video chat room for a second, Edie.
Yeah.
So we got just.
That's fucking awesome.
Sorry.
For those in Spreaker, he had a banner that was a count up banner that said GameStop stores closing 196, 197, 198, 199.
Yeah, that's another bit of news. They said they're closing 200 stores.
200 stores, yeah.
I put this out on Twitter the other day at GamerGoalie on Twitter. I haven't been in a GameStop in 2 years. I should say I might have gone in once with a friend of mine who was picking up some collector's thing, and I went in with him. But I don't remember that. It's been a couple of years since I've been in a GameStop. Sadly, I was in there all the time. I bought all my new stuff from GameStop.
Rock Band 3 is available on Amazon for $49.88. Yeah, only 19 left in stock. Order soon.
But you can get it $15 used.
Right. But if
somebody I'll bet you that
you want to throw away, just if you could send it to me, yeah, we would appreciate it. So yes, just shoot me an email at esellers@gamehounds.net, and we can see if you want to get rid of it. I mean, it's
GameStop had its day, and it's just I don't know what happened. It just
you don't know what happened.
Well, there's a lot of things that happened. Yeah, digital downloads.
Downloads and the recognition that you were selling stuff to GameStop, selling a good game to GameStop for $5, and they would mark it up to $40.
Mm-hmm.
People finally got tired. Nobody liked GameStop, but they were the only thing in town. And then digital downloads happened, and that changed everything.
Well, when you think about it, though, as to play devil's advocate here, if you got a game that you definitely weren't going to play anymore, and aside from eBay and whatever, who else would buy it? I mean, even if you only got a couple of bucks, it's a couple of bucks rather than throwing it away. So as bad as it was that they would give you peanuts on the dollar, you were at least getting peanuts, which, if you got lucky and sold it on eBay, maybe you get something. But they had so many copies of Madden 12 and Madden 11, Madden 13. It's like, you're not going to sell that on eBay. No one's going to buy that. But they would at least give you $1 for it. And so if you brought in 20 old games that you were never going to play, you got $20. So it's
right. But now nobody has that many. It
was also
downloads.
easier.
True. And now it's harder. And that was the other thing, is that there were GameStops everywhere.
Yeah.
Now that GameStops are closing, it's going to be very hard to actually get to a GameStop, which means that they're going to have less people that are interested in buying physical copies or trading in to get another physical copy. And they're going to be getting downloads. And GameStop, I think, went into a little bit of a denial that this was going to happen to them. They never believed that digital downloads would overtake the market. And I also think that they wanted to get onto the digital download train, but got on too late. Because I don't think publishers really liked them either. They were kind of dicks to publish. They were dicks to their customers. They were dicks to publishers. They made a lot of money off of both of them for a lot of years, and there was not a lot of goodwill being paid forward to keep them around. So I don't think there's a lot of people other than people at GameStop that are sorry that GameStop's going under.
I think that the Xbox 360 and the PS3 era was their heyday. And, because, there wasn't a lot of storage on the Xbox 360. You didn't have to download stuff. You could play it right from the disc, which you can't do anymore. So, in effect, when the new systems come out and you have to install the games, discs have come to be useless. I mean,
what's the point? Unless
you have to put it in to run the game, because it's got to recognize the disc if you bought it. But then you might as well just download it. And I took me a long time to come aboard that. I always wanted the disc in my hand, and then the other night when I'm sitting there and it's like, something, I got the itch to play Borderlands 3, and it was late at night and everything's closed. And what did I do? I went into PlayStation, I bought it, and I downloaded it while I was finishing work and doing some laundry. And then I sat down and half hour, 40. I got to say, the downloads seem to be faster now than they were back in the day too. Because there was times it would take, okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow night when I'm done downloading. So I don't know what they've done on their end, but I was able to start playing Borderlands 3 in 20 minutes maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was playing it in 30.
Yeah. And so, I went off and did some things and downloaded it, and then I was good to go. And so they did a good job of whatever they've changed. And that's where GameStop kind of goes out the door, because I used to go there at the midnight and pick up my disc, at midnight, at GameStop. That used to be kind of fun. I did that a couple times. Don't need to do that now. You can actually pre-download, as you all know. And it's too bad, because I did enjoy rummaging through GameStop and having some deals and stuff. And, you get the 10% off if you're a member and all this stuff. But at some point, it just stopped, and I'm not playing nearly as many video games as I used to. Obviously, my situation now, where I'm doing a lot of board games with the sports. But, every once in a while, I get the itch to play. So that's why I bought it online, and I'm going to buy the games I know I'm going to play. That Greedfall has me intrigued if it ever comes on a huge sale.
I get it on sale.
Yeah. Even NHL 20, I've heard that they've added the alumni players, which they had last year, which I could never play because they only played in a couple of modes that I don't play those modes. But I heard now that you might be able to play them. So, but I'm going to catch that on a sale. Mm-hmm. So I'm waiting and seeing a lot of these games. But B3, Borderlands 3, I knew I was going to like that one. I watched people on YouTube play. It's like, oh yeah, this is Borderlands 2. So yeah.
Right. Also, there is the issue that is probably not that important to you, but it is important to me, is that when it comes to physical discs, there's a lot of fucking plastic that, well, first off, there's a lot of fucking plastic that you have to use to make it. There's the disc itself, there's the case, there's all the pages, there's a lot of material that has to go somewhere someday, and it's going to go into a landfill. In addition to that, all of those discs have to be printed by machines that are using energy. You have to have them shipped by vehicles that are using gasoline or diesel. The carbon footprint, and we have to start paying attention to our carbon footprint. This is a real thing. It is a thing. That carbon footprint for a physical disc is massive. And that was one of the reasons why I know you don't care, but you should.
What? I'm listening.
You should. It is a very much a thing. And that carbon footprint is going to make a difference later. Even if you don't worry about the carbon footprint in the manufacture and transportation of that disc has to go somewhere. It's going to go. Shut up. You're such a dick, Oli. It has to go into a landfill somewhere. That, even if you don't, no matter what your opinion of climate science is, landfills are a finite thing. That's not science. That's literally you take a disc, you throw it in the ground, and maybe one day it will go away. So that's a very big issue for me. And it's one of the reasons why as soon as digital downloads were, even before digital downloads were quick, even when it took overnight, I still did it. Yeah, I mean...
See this can? I'm just going to go throw it out in the middle of my street when I'm done the show.
Right, but most discs aren't recyclable. All that plastic isn't recyclable. Most of it doesn't hit the recycling. Even now, they're saying that recycling is not exactly all that great. Cans are good, but
the other day when I was walking the dog, I saw a cat walking down the street, and he was entangled in a Call of Duty 2 360 case. I know what you're saying.
Right. I mean, it's going into the ground. It's going to be dug. The next.
Yeah, but look what they did with ET. They dug up
it.
ET. They dug up all the ET games, and now it's famous now.
Right. They dug up all the ET games, and guess what? Most of them are still playable, even after all these times sitting in the ground. That says something. So they don't go away. And eventually we are going to be swimming in that garbage. And I just like the idea that I don't have to rely upon all that extra cost, all that extra. It's more money because the price hasn't changed. It's more money to the publishers when you can actually do a digital download because they don't have to pay for all of the overhead just to get that disc in your hands. It's benefits. There's literally no downside.
I see what you're saying.
There's no downside.
Get inside. You're right. It's, it's faster. It's this is that. It's not real. It's fake.
Right. The one downside is that when you stop playing it, eventually that game will go away. But here's the thing: you sell the disc, the game goes away. It's the same thing. You're just not doing it with a piece of plastic. More GameStop closings. Now, we should be passed up. We should be far more than 198. So, next item. We totally went on a tangent there, didn't we? Borderlands 3. Speaking of Borderlands 3. Biggest launch in the publisher's history. Fastest selling game ever.
Which there's an asterisk next to that.
Is there?
There's a caveat. Because I find it very hard to believe that it outsold Red Dead or GTA.
No, not overall sales, as in fastest selling.
No, that's what I mean. I will be shocked if it sold more on the first day than GTA or Red Dead Redemption.
Let's see. Let's see. Where is it? God dang it! It sold 5 million copies in 5 days.
Okay, what did GTA do?
I don't know. It's got the highest percentage of digital sales at 70%. The highest pre-order sales to date for any 2K game.
Fucking Grand Theft Auto 5 sold 11.2 million units in its first 24 hours.
Well, then why are they saying? This is 2K. No, that's Take-Two. This is not in.
Oh, Take-Two, 2K. Okay, okay.
I'm like, why are you talking about that? That's not. They're not the biggest in history of any game. It's 2K history.
I was like 2K. Oh, you're just ignoring Grand Theft Auto so that you can make Borderlands 3 look better.
No, 2K.
Oh,
It got the highest percentage of digital sales. It broke the Epic Store pre-order records. It is the top position on Switch for the most watched game on launch day.
Which I do.
Go ahead.
I do think it's cool that it sold so well on Epic after a lot of people made a stink about it being an Epic exclusive because it's not on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see that that doesn't matter, right? Like the truth is, for all the people complaining about Epic exclusives and games not being on Steam, the truth is, like, when there's a game you want to play, you're going to play it. And so, like, a lot of those complaints and people sending death threats to developers for going Epic exclusive, I think this really undercuts a lot of that.
Right.
And they just sound even more pathetic because a game could sell this well on PC being exclusive to Epic.
Right.
So, fuck those people that are sending death threats to developers.
Yeah. So that is happening, and on top of that, Borderlands 3 is going to get some timed content, free content, which is nice. The Halloween-themed Bloody Harvest is coming. At the same time, the game director Paul Sage said that the company has no plans to add more playable characters. Because I believe they did add more characters, more classes to previous games, didn't they? Does anybody remember?
Maybe.
Because I think they started out with 2 and they went up to 6. And they said that that's the reason for that is that in part because the studio used active skills and mods to differentiate the classes more than in prior games. And that makes sense. Yeah, that's the level of what has changed considerably. The skills, using skills is about the same, but you can actually augment the skills now with add-ons that give you perks and a little boosts on depending on what skills you have active.
I think they did that in 2, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, you could go in and
so long.
Yeah, you could go in and get like a 1%, reload speed or something like that.
Not that. Not that.
Oh.
They're talking about the class mods. That's a whole what level are you going?
I got to 12 on my main character.
Okay. So at level, I think it is 15, you get to use class mods. Class mods, and you probably picked up some of them. And they're specific to the class. And you can actually add those, like at the bottom of your inventory screen, you have your shield. You have your
health.
No. Like in your inventory screen, you have all your guns that
you get your grenades and your shield.
You got your shield and your grenades, and then there's 2 spaces that you have that are locked right now.
Yeah.
One of those is a class mod.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And it's
what that will do is it will give you
it
will give you some perks like a 2% added to shields, or shields go a little 3% faster. But on top of it, it will actually improve your score in certain skill trees. Like you've got your skill trees and you put your skills into it, and you'll have like 3 points, 3 out of 5 points in this, and 4 out of 4 points in this, and you're adding skill points into it. You're actually making your character better. When you get to that skill mod in there, it will actually add phantom points. So you could have, like, if it's a +3 to a certain skill, it will make you show a power of 8 of 5 if you maxed it out.
That was confusing to me because I had all these perks in my backpack and they're taking up space. And I was like, oh, look at all this great stuff I got going on. And then I think
can't use them until 15.
Oh, well, no, I think it was one I have equipped somewhere, somehow. Maybe. No, yeah, you can, because there's some that say, level 12. I'm pretty sure.
They say level 12, but you can't actually unlock the box until level 15.
Well, that makes no sense.
I know it makes no sense, but
why would you give me a level 12 thing if I can't unlock it to level 15?
I don't know.
But
I've had those too, where the class mods where it said level 10. It was like, oh, level 10, cool. I'll be able to use it at level 10. It's like, no, you could use it at level 10, but you can't actually equip it yet. Because
that's weird. Yeah,
slot unlocked.
I just started getting rid of them all. I was like, I don't know what these things are. They're taking up room in my backpack. I'm just selling them. So,
yeah. So, yeah, go ahead. I mean, you should probably put some of those in your bank, because in a couple of levels you will be able to use them, and they're very specific. Like, it gives you, say, a faster reload speed or increased efficiency on particular kinds of weapons, like Atlas guns or Malawan guns, or, whatever, Marcus guns.
Stahl or whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
Dahl.
yeah.
Yep. So all of that stuff is available.
What other thing I didn't like is when we were playing that Kilovolt boss battle, you jump down into the ring and you fight the electric guy.
Right.
What I didn't like is when you died and you respawned, they didn't have the machines that go and buy ammo. So you went back in. If you jumped right back down, you got some ammo back, but not all of it.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the fun part about it. Remember Terramorphous in Borderlands 2 is that when you died, you were at the machine, so you loaded up on all your stuff, and the other guy was just trying to survive long enough for you to jump back in the pit, and that was fun. Now you got to run around.
That was a game ending boss. That wasn't one of the. I mean, this guy's a boss, but he's like a mid game boss.
Yeah, but
it
took us. What did it take us? 10 or 15 minutes to go around the town and load up on ammo again.
And jump out and run around the town.
I gotta say though,
run back in.
It was kind of cool because we were playing and it was getting late for me. I'm like, all right, we'll do one more mission. Okay, let's do that Kilovolt thing. And it was a good two hours later. It's like, oh, so much for a quick mission. That was a big city. That was a long time to do all those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like Crackdown, where you were jumping up on all the buildings trying to get up high and do stuff too. It had a very Crackdown feel to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Borderlands was always a vertical game as well. So, the Borderlands 2, Borderlands 1 was also very vertical.
Which one's vertical? Is that up and down, or is that
up and
side
down?
To side?
Horizontal side to side.
Oh, I get it now. I get it. Good to know.
Can you hear the Wednesday?
Oh, the alarm? No,
alarm test. Yeah, it's a Wednesday test of the emergency warning system in our area.
Really?
I heard it that time.
I couldn't hear it. Are
you still here?
Yeah.
Huh.
All right. So
I'm
anyway,
always here.
next news item. Nick, do you have anything?
Yeah, I was trying to find more information on this. E3's not plans, but ideas for 2020 got leaked. Basically, their pitch proposal for 2020 got leaked, and it's basically a PowerPoint presentation meant for ESA members.
Yeah, desperately trying to shore up the ESA, since
Yeah,
E3
and
has become completely irrelevant to the entire industry.
And a lot of it is just like really shows them stretching. They have a lot of stuff for Qtainment, which is how to advertise for people while they're waiting in line. And so they're basically a lot of
Qtainment. Okay.
Yes. So some of the slides were about basically making that a thing that they could sell to publishers or people, like, hey, this booth is next to a big line. That will cost more for Qtainment. They were also looking at, sorry, my nose is really stuffed. To try to cut down on time spent in line, ironically, doing a thing that I know Disneyland does, where you use an app to reserve a time, and then you can go wander around. It's like a virtual line. But then one of the slides is just really, really cynical, and it's something all corporations do, but hearing the ESA do it is just funny and sad. This is the power of social good. This is quoted from their PowerPoint presentation. Research shows that millennials and Gen Z are the most, quote, giving back social good generations ever. By amplifying E3's social good brand, we can advance the industry's brand with consumers while storing positive chits for future use, e.g. policy goals, next negative video game story. One tactic we can implement is partnering with influencers, celebrities, athletes, YouTube personalities who are passionate about E3 relevant social good efforts, e.g. gender equality, STEM. Imagine a NBA champion global superstar participating in an E3 Coliseum conversation and or global movie star being part of the E3 digital ticket because it included social good components. So they're basically talking about getting celebrities to do shit at E3 as part of a charity with the assumption that they could store goodwill that they could then spend whenever they fuck something up again, like loot boxes. Like, oh, yeah, we defended loot boxes, but remember when we raised all that charity money? So,
oh my God.
That's a lot of their plans. Or
so completely out of step. It's like they're trying to bankroll future bad acts. Like, we'll get a pass if we do something nice now. It's not how it works. They're like a really shitty like 7-year-old trying to figure out how they can get away with being bad by being super good. If I clean my room and I'm really good this week, then when I like sneak out of the house later, I won't get into nearly as much trouble.
So as part of that, one of the things that they suggested is changing the floor layout to have a bunch of large stages that they call, quote, experience hubs, which is basically where influencers or celebrities will play video games that people could go watch. Mm-hmm. So, imagine PAX, but, instead of the Microsoft booth, there's just a stage where, I don't know, Ninja or PewDiePie is playing a game, which is actually kind of like PAX already. But that's basically what they were imagining for E3. And one of the things that they suggested, which this seems really, really counter to the idea of making it more consumer friendly, is, quote, exclusive/appointment only activations for select attendees who will create buzz and FOMO. In quotes, fear of missing out. So like
I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss out.
They want to add more things for consumers, for the consumer days, because as an industry only show, it probably won't survive. They need to shift into a more public facing show. But at the same time, they're trying to do things, like create these exclusive situations where a lot of consumers might not get to it. They want to have Q-tainment because most of the time people will spend at E3 is just me waiting in line. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of contradictory ideas being thrown around here, which makes sense for an organization that isn't sure what to do.
And all of that probably it may have worked, but now that has been leaked, there's no way it's going to work because now it seems completely manipulated. And if there's one thing that Gen X and Gen Z really hate is corporations manipulating them. That's the death knell for EA or ESA in a lot of ways. E3 that one act killed E3 this year. Anybody that knows about it is going to be angry that they would be manipulated like that. So yeah, E3. I'm not sorry to see it go at all. Predicted it 10 years ago, and 8 years ago, and it's going exactly the way that I expected it to, just a lot slower.
Well, they made changes and they got full of themselves, and then
they forgot what gaming was about.
Yeah. Okay. I remember you went to an E3 a long time ago.
I used to go to E3 every single year.
Yeah, I remember. Well, it's gonna be 10 years ago when I first met you. I think it was. Mm-hmm. 13 years ago. Yeah. Has it been 13 years?
It has.
You're an old broad. You know that.
I'm very old broad.
You really are an old broad.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh God. You have no idea how old I feel.
Yeah, I remember watching the thing on TV. You were in the crowd somewhere, and you were, texting me and talking about this, and then posting on Gamehounds, and it was like,
Oh yeah.
it was pretty
God,
cool
I used to
back
put
then.
so much time and effort into Gamehounds, and here I am 10 years later, and people are like, "Are you ever going to get a sponsor for this show?" It's like, you don't feel like it.
No. What you say is, yeah,
Yeah,
someday.
maybe. Someday. Hey, something I want to clue you into of a bit of humor in Borderlands 3 that you probably both don't know about it, but I ran across it last night. That's fucking hilarious. There is a rare spawn. It's not that rare. It's an uncommon spawn in Borderlands 3 of Dinklebot. It's a ball that looks just like Dinklebot from Anthem, but it's in the game and it's trying to kill you. And you have to kill Dinklebot. And if you kill Dinklebot,
Oh, wait, you mean from Destiny?
from Anthem, from Destiny. Yes, from Destiny.
Okay.
Same thing. Yeah, from Destiny. So
Did they ever
Dinklebot.
come out with Destiny 2?
Yeah.
They did.
No, they skipped it. They're gonna release Destiny 3.
I played Destiny 1. I've been waiting for Destiny 2 to come out. I just haven't seen it come out yet.
Yeah, it came out quite some time ago.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But Dinklebot, when you kill him, eventually he drops a ludogram, which is like an enneagram.
A ludogram.
Oh, jeez.
And it is a rare spawn. I mean, it's a rare item. It's like a gold, an orange item. It's legendary. And you have to turn it in to Crazy Earl. So you go back up to the ship and you go up to Earl. What you want?
That guy's awesome. Go away.
And you hand him the lootgram and he's like, okay, here you go. Now get the fuck out of here. And he throws you a white gun. Which goes back to that whole thing with Destiny about how they had that you could get a rare engram and turn it in. And when you would turn in this rare, epic level engram, sometimes you had a very high rate of getting a white gun, which would be like, why did I work my ass off getting this engram only to get a trash level gun? So, but it's 100%. You aren't going to get anything better than a white item for the loot gram.
Oh, that's funny though.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Here you go. Level 1. Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, Corey Wallace points out there's you have to kill Wick and Wardy.
Yeah, we tried to do that last night. We didn't find them, or we did something. I forgot what we did, but we were going to do that the other day.
Yeah, we were going to do it, but I realized, well, it was late, and it was going to be a long thing, kind of like any of those kill somebody quests. They are usually long. They'll take a good hour to an hour and a half just to get through the prelude to get to the fight. And the fight could take anywhere from, depending on how you're skilled, or if you're actually at level and you're not properly geared for it, it could take, 45 minutes, an hour to beat them. All right. So anyway, next item is
I
have news. What news? In
Okay.
the news of the strange. So, remember when Insomniac went under?
Insomniac never went under.
It got sold to Sony.
It got bought.
Right, it got bought by Sony. So,
Yeah.
Sony bought Insomniac. Insomniac made Sunset Overdrive, which was an Xbox exclusive.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Sony now owns the rights to the Microsoft exclusive game.
So when do they get Gears?
They're not going to get Gears, unfortunately. So, and this was somebody asked the president of Sony, Shuei Yoshida, about it, and he's like, Sony Entertainment Interactive holds the rights to Insomniac Games Works, but he noted that they don't think that they will ever actually release that game because it really wasn't a very big seller anyway. and it would take a lot to port it over to PS4 or any PlayStation in the future. So it probably is not going to be end up being on the PlayStation anyway. But it is kind of funny that that was a very big game that Microsoft was promoting the hell out of, and about how it was an Xbox exclusive, and now Sony owns the rights.
Well, it's really interesting that Microsoft let the developer retain the rights, the IP rights.
That is kind of funny that they did that.
Yeah, it's very developer friendly, which maybe speaks to Microsoft. But that was back
also
in
another reason why. Sorry, it was back in the time when.
That was back in the who the fuck was that?
Oh yeah,
that was back when
Matrix.
Don Matrix, get the fuck out of here.
Don Matrix, not Matrix.
Matrix,
Commando, wasn't he?
Right, you're right. Don Matrix.
That was back when Don Matrix was running the show, which was a lot less friendly to developers and games in general. So I'm actually really surprised that was the deal Insomniac got out of it. That was like
true.
Really
you're right, but
friendly.
It was also the time when Don Matrix sold all and closed all of the Microsoft publishers, and now Phil Spector is going in and Spencer is going in and buying a bunch of studios. And I think the reason why is that they're keeping their IPs.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could have had a third-party studio develop a game, but then keep the IP.
Possibly. It depends on how the game was approached to them. If they had the game and was in development and then showed it to them, and that was not part, they wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah.
And I think they wanted a
Gears.
Microsoft exclusive.
That's what happened with Gears. Like, Epic was a developer. They weren't owned by Microsoft, but Gears is a Microsoft IP.
True. But also Gears predated Don Matrix.
Yeah. I was saying, having a developer retain the IP rights is unusual.
Yes. Anyway, so what was your item? I gotta go get something to drink. Man, I'm sweating like crazy. Isn't it really hot where you are?
No, but I have a cool apartment.
Oh my god, I am sweating like a
my apartment just stays nice and chill.
Nice. I'm gonna go get a cold drink. So carry on without me for a second.
Activision pissed a lot of people off again, as they all want to do.
But that's what they do. That's their job.
Yep. So the new Call of Duty is coming out, and there's a mode that is exclusive to PlayStation for a full year. I guess within Modern Warfare, there's a mode called Spec Ops, which is kind of a co-op mode. Within that mode, there's another sub-mode called Spec Ops Survival. And I'm not sure what the distinction is between Spec Ops and Spec Ops Survival, but Spec Ops Survival is exclusive to PlayStation 4 for a year. So, just at first they had, exclusive DLC, and now they've got exclusive game modes. So a lot of players are just angry about that.
But that usually comes over to the other side at some point, doesn't it?
It will. They've specifically said that it's a year exclusive. So around October 2020, Xbox players will be able to have, by the time the next Call of Duty comes out, you'll be able to play Spec Ops Survival on Xbox.
So you're all dehydrated.
Yeah, okay.
You're sweating and you're drinking a Coors. Who drinks a Coors when they're? It's a Coors. I can't read it. The light's in the way. It says it's a yellow can. It says Coors.
I saw you. It says Canada Dry. I saw you pouring a Coors in there.
The official soft drink of the Gamehounds. That's the only soft drink I drink is ginger ale. I quit 2 years ago. I cold turkeyed everything else, by the way, except ginger ale.
Can't really see. Let's see if I can bring the light. There you go. It is Canada. Oh, hold on a second. There we go.
No, put your hand on the
grapefruit. Canada Dry grapefruit.
Sparkling water. I drink sparkling water. I do not drink soda.
Oh.
Yeah, let's get that Canada Dry money. Come on.
At least you can vape out there. We can't even vape out here anymore. They made that illegal.
They're trying to make it illegal.
Did they?
Yeah, because 4 people died.
Oh, that's right.
And it's funny that like how many millions died from cigarettes, but that's okay.
Right.
Just keep on smoking.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing is that this is a whole nother like non-game house conversation.
All right, let's go game. Let's get back to the news.
I don't have any other game news.
I do sort of. Bandersnatch. Remember that?
Yeah.
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay.
Video game type movie, interactive movie, and it was about a video game developer on top of that. So,
on Netflix.
On Netflix. And I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty funny. There was a very meta moment in it that was really funny. I loved a lot. So I gave it a wide berth.
Yeah, it was okay.
It won the Emmys. Won the Emmy for Best TV Movie.
No.
It snatched that award. Huh?
It must have won for Best... It wasn't it Best Interactive something?
No. Last year's interactive episode of the anthology science fiction show Black Mirror won the Emmy for Best TV Movie. Best
That's
TV movie.
bullshit. That is so bullshit. A, it's not a movie. B, I'm sure there were better movies than fucking Bandersnatch. Over challenges like Deadwood, over the man, fuck the Emmys. Fuck the Emmys. The Emmys deserve to get stabbed in the face.
Deadwood's not a movie.
No, but there was a television movie.
Was it a television movie?
Yeah,
who was
they
made it? They beat.
They made a Deadwood movie.
2019 Emmys nominations. All right, nominees and winners. Outstanding comedy, no. Lead draw, no. Actors, next. Let's see. Oh, I can look it up here. Comedy, drama, limited series, reality, television movie under limited series. It was up against Brexit, Deadwood the movie, King Lear, and My Dinner with Hervé. And it won.
I don't know any of those. Just don't.
Okay, so it I guess it won twice? Because I was reading something that says it won Outstanding Creative Achievement in Interactive Media within a Scripted Program.
That probably is true, but they also wrote one Outstanding Television Movie, which is the bigger award.
God, that's so stupid. That movie was not that... It wasn't that good.
Did you watch Deadwood the movie?
No, but I guarantee you it's fucking better than Bandersnatch.
no, but I guarantee you I haven't seen it yet.
Did you see any of the other ones? Any of the other? Did you see Brexit or King Lear or My Dinner with Hervé?
Nope. But I guarantee you they're better than Bandersnatch.
Oh, Nick, you are such a tool.
Bandersnatch was not that good. It
wasn't that good.
It ended right when it started to get interesting. Like, in all the paths, I played through every fucking path in that game.
I did too.
It's not a fucking movie, it's a goddamn game. But I played through every path of that, and, like, it always got to the point where in the middle of the story, right as things start to get interesting, right as things start to go wrong, and, like, right as the plot begins to kick into gear, right as all the themes start to coalesce into something actually meaningful, then it ends. It ends right before it starts to do anything interesting. In every single path that you can take. It's a cool proof of concept, but, like, It was not a good story in any.
I have to agree with you. It was did not feel completely finished. It felt like you said, a proof of concept. It was a good beta.
I can understand winning the creative achievement in interactive media within a scripted program. Sure, it deserves that. But fucking movie? Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, see what interactive media, hosting, hairstyling, directing, costumes. I need to
go on.
I still don't believe this. I'm trying to find it myself, and I don't believe this.
I wish we had AC Wraith right now. He would have already had that. I've put it in the Twitter chat. I'm about to put it into
Drama, comedy,
the
limited
Streamyard
television
chat.
movie, Black Mirror Bandersnatch, over Brexit, King Lear, My Dinner with Herve.
Herve.
Wait, Deadwood isn't even on there. Oh wait. Oh, it's the layout of the thing is stupid. It's Brexit, Deadwood, King Lear. Yeah, God, Bandersnatch was not that good. Fucking Emmys suck.
I knew it would get a rise out of you. That's why I put it up here.
You know what? I will say, at least it wasn't Man vs. Wild.
That was horrible. The interactive Man vs. Wild. It was miserable. Well, first off, it wasn't a movie; it was a series, and second of all, it was terrible. It was so bad.
It failed as an interactive experience. It failed as a game, and it failed as like a Man vs. Wild show. It failed as a nature show. It failed as a game. It failed at everything.
It failed at every level. It was horrible. Yeah, I did one episode, and I realized how bad it was, and then just didn't go to a second one.
Yeah.
Even free, it was overpriced. So, Goalie, do you have anything else? Nick, do you have anything else?
No, that's all I had.
No. Game of Thrones won Best Series, which I'm actually okay with.
Mm-hmm.
Fleabag won comedy.
Fleabag won comedy. I don't understand. I have watched Fleabag.
Yeah?
It's not great.
I haven't seen it.
It's really not.
I got to see Chernobyl. That one limited
I'm
series.
sure.
Chernobyl was good.
Yeah.
Yeah? I got to check that out.
You want to skip episode 4, I think it was, though.
Why?
Oh, it was tough, though. Tough. I fast forwarded through it. It was tough. I think it was either 3 or 4. It was tough. 5 kind of wrapped it all up. But it was a good series, very intriguing. I even bought the book. Learned a lot between the book and the show about what was going on over there. In fact, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of people over there. There's tourist the things they do over there now. You can sign up to take a tour. I think it's only a couple $100, and they'll take you through Pripyat and the whole bit. And they'll take you right up to the reactor that melted down. And they give everybody Geiger counters, and you walk around and you see what you can touch. I mean, they've just dropped everything. There's some they have trucks and landscape vehicles and just all the stuff that is dropped. And you go up, and if it's come on the Geiger counter, then you don't touch it, you know. But there's places you can go and places you can't go, and you can take a tour there. It's really cheap, and it's like the new thing.
Yeah, but there's actually a guy that we know who is a freestyle drone, very famous drone pilot, and does amazing tricks. And he flies the ruins of Chernobyl, and he got permission to do it. And it's fascinating what's still out there, especially when you're literally flying through all of that stuff. I should send you that link.
What was really crazy, there was one video of the hospital that was nearby, and they've since demolished the hospital. And I don't know how many years ago that was, but it might have only been a couple years ago. But someone snuck in to this hospital, okay, that was right outside of Chernobyl, and they went down into the basement, and they had the camera and the lights, and they were like going in and out of the rooms, and they found a couple of the rooms where they threw all the firefighter gear. So the first responders were the firefighters, and they got all really sick. So they took off their clothes, which is full of radiation, and just put them downstairs in this room, and it was all still there, like where it was when they threw it back in '86. Mm-hmm. It was the freakiest thing, and it was still so radioactive after 30 years. Mm-hmm. It was insane. The radiation hadn't gone down at all, and so the people were all dressed up in the suits, and they had the Geiger counter, and you could see, you know, all the stuff there. And I was like, oh my gosh, it is terrible. It was very, very, very sad. Very, very sad.
That sounds like a horror movie.
It was, it was, it did. It looked like a horror movie.
Hold on.
Yeah, you left the
I
screen.
lost the show. Let me figure out why I lost
I'll
the
wait
show.
for Edie.
Stand by.
Yeah, you jumped out of the show. We're still live on YouTube, but yeah, you jumped out of the room for a second.
I can't hear you.
Oh, Edie can't hear
I'm
us.
I'm trying to give signals.
Yeah.
It's not working.
We can hear you, by the way.
Yeah.
He's talking. You can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. I cannot hear you. And I figure out
about...
why we're not getting your signal anymore. Stand by.
Actually, it'd be better, Nick, if it was the other way. If she could hear us and we couldn't hear her, that would probably be a lot better.
Oh, that's true. That would be the best.
Yeah, if I could do that with my wife, that'd be good. Just like, beep, can hear you.
There we go. All right.
No, yeah, I can't. Sorry.
It's never a bad thing to not hear a woman. You know what I mean? And you'll be sitting there. Up, game's on. Wait a sec. You can't do that on camera on my show. This is my show. This is a
family-friendly show.
See, you have one beer, one Coors, and you're drunk.
It's water. It's sparkling water. So, Chernobyl, super good, and it won. That was more than just that. That was the big Emmy. It won a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, it won a bunch. Yeah.
So, anything else we want to talk about? What are we going to play this week? I'm going to be all about Borderlands.
Yes, me too. I'm going to go have some lunch. I'm going to walk mouth number 1, and I'm going to play some more Borderlands today, I think.
Mouth number 1?
Yeah, we have 2 dogs, mouth number 1 and mouth number 2.
Okay.
They don't stop. Mouth number 1 has the day shift. Okay, so he will bark all day long. Every time a truck goes by, every time a leaf blows by, a squirrel goes by, he barks and barks all day long, right? And then he eventually settles in at 6, 7 o'clock and goes to bed. And then right around midnight, the overnight shift, mouth number 2 starts barking all night long. And yeah, he's old and he's senile, but yeah. So we get mouth number 2, takes over in the middle of the night, keeps us up with his barking. And he barks. Okay, you must have to go to the bathroom. You're an old dog. You let him out. He goes on the deck. He turns around. He looks at you. Yeah. So I'm going to let him out the front door from now on at night instead of and then you can roam the neighborhood with the coyotes and have a good old time and bark all you want. Oh, man.
Your wife would kill you if you did that.
Oh, we just spent so much money on him. It's unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
So, oh yeah, I saw you put that in the chat there. So,
I've got 4.
Yeah, you do have 4 mouths. Actually, you have 3 mouths and 1 butt.
We're thinking about going back to cats.
4 mouths and a butt.
Mm-hmm. There's the name of your heavy metal band.
4 mouths and a butt.
Yeah. 3
No,
mouths.
I like Too Cheap for Prime. That's a good name for a band.
That's a punk band, not a metal.
Yeah, it is. And I'm getting hungry. I gotta get lunch. Let's wrap it up.
All right. So on that note, and by the way, everybody in the chat room and Spreaker chat room, it was so awesome to have you. I did not see AC Wraith today, so he must have missed the show. We had Heartbreak Ridge, Corey Wallace Jaeger, of course. He chases us everywhere with Gamer77. And I think I caught everybody kind of late this time. But yeah, Wednesdays is going to be our new time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern. And next week, we're probably going to do the live stream, not on Goalie's channel, but on the Gamehounds channel.
Yeah,
so
whatever you want to do. Yeah, before you play the music and outro, let me know. I'm going to shut off the YouTube because they don't like music on their live shows. They ban you for that stuff. So,
all right.
So you might want to keep that in mind when doing your stream, even though I think you bought the license to that.
Yeah, no, I'm licensed for that, so we're fine.
So your channel might be good, but I don't know if that would carry over to my channel. So
no, anyway. It's the same thing. It's the same show. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's
okay.
Fine.
All right, but anyway, we'll wrap it up here. So we're going to say goodbye to YouTube. It's been a 2-hour show live on YouTube today. Thanks everybody for tuning in as we did our video game show today here. So I think next time we'll be on the Gamehounds. I think it's Gamehounds Vids. Let me.
Yes, I'm gonna try and see if we can put it on our Gamehounds channel. I don't know why we used fake Gamehound vids. It's been so long since we done.
So what is the YouTube? Is it just game?
There is a Gamehounds vids. There is also a Gamehounds channel, but I don't quite understand why we had to create the Gamehounds vids one. I would love to keep everything just on Gamehounds.
Yeah, well, so Gamehounds vids, I might check that out for next week.
This is YouTube channels, right? Why would you make a Gamehound vid YouTube channel?
I don't know if it's,
there was a reason, and I can't remember what it was.
I think it might have been taken. I think maybe that Gamehounds was taken, and so you did Gamehounds vids.
That would make sense.
Possible. I think that some guy. Oh yeah, it was some guy out in, I want to say, Michigan, who was going to do a video series about going to different used game stores and buying used games, and was going to call it Gamehounds, and I had to send him a cease and desist. I sent him a nice letter saying, "Hey, you can't use Gamehounds. We're already a podcast." And then he's like, "Fuck you. Yes, I can." And I had to actually pay a lawyer to send him a cease and desist letter and say, "Dude, no, you can't. And yes, we will sue you." And he didn't make the series. And I think that he has the name.
Okay, so
it's Gamehounds vid, but we'll put the links.
I found a Game Space Hounds channel that has one video from 5 years ago that basically said, "That's a bunch of kids. That's all first video. Please like and subscribe."
Yeah, that was.
Then there's Gamehound, one word, which has a AMV of Post Malone, a Post Malone video set to Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Gamehounds, lowercase, that seems to be instructional videos for Microsoft Office and C++.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Gamehounds content on YouTube for you to go check out.
So that's what we are. We're called Gamehound. That's why we're Gamehounds vids. So we're Gamehounds vids on YouTube, and we will be posting to there next week.
What to do though is if you both want to go sign up for the Streamyard.com, it's free to sign up. I'm using the paid version, so I can use my own logo up here in the corner. You see the Gamehounds logo up there, and I have a Gamehounds backdrop. Okay. Otherwise, you will see this powered by StreamYard, and then the overlay would be this. This is what you get with the free version. Okay. If you get the paid version, then you can get rid of some of the overlays and use your own. So I can go back to my Gamehounds and I can hide their stuff. And even the background would be a generic background. So if you want to sign up for this, I think it works well for audio as well as video. And like I said, we were live. We had two chats going. We had chats going on YouTube. We were busy. We had chats on Spreaker. It just adds a little more, variety to the show, so it's not just audio only.
Yeah, and I think that the audio does a good job of talk over that Skype doesn't always do. That when we have talk over on Skype, because I'm hosting Skype, I will overload everybody else's. I will talk over everybody and shut down the stream's gate. So that I'm always in the front of everything. I'm the first layer. And I don't like that. And I don't see you being, because I can talk over you and we can talk at the same time and be the same volume.
Yeah,
it doesn't duck me behind you.
Nope, not at all. No, it does a good job. And this is how I do all my interviews for the Digital to Dice podcast.
Right.
Is how we use this right here. So if you want to look into it, it's very intuitive. I mean, you can't see my screen, but on the side, I can highlight the comments, so when the comments come up and I can,
that was cool.
All the YouTube stuff, I can put a comment and I can take it down. I've created all my own banners, so I can put up a banner here. I can even go to a minimal size banner. If you can see what I'm doing here, I can change the color of the banner on the fly. So I'll go back to my default and I can, boom, change the color, boom, change the color, boom, change the color. So I can do all this stuff right on the fly.
This is also scintillating for all of the audio listeners and people.
Oh, it is, yeah. But if you go onto YouTube, you can see all the stuff
Sorry.
that I can do.
Look at the colors.
But
oh
yeah,
my
so
God, that's amazing what you have on the screen right now. Oh my God, it's blowing me away. Oh, you should have listened live.
But maybe
I'm so sorry.
But maybe people go check out the stream after, because if you go on YouTube, it archived it.
That's true. You could actually listen to the show and watch the show on.
Yeah, we had a lot of people that were watching on YouTube today, and I mean you can comment in both, but if you comment in YouTube, you can post the comments right on screen, and you can join us that way. So
the downside is that this is going to require me to actually shower and actually do something with myself before a show.
What? I didn't shower. Here I am.
Yeah, but you're a guy. Guys are held to different standards than girls.
Not Nick.
But that's just because I'm
Nick, did you shower? Nick, did you shower?
Oh, hell no.
No, man.
I got out of bed.
32?
I got out of bed. No, got off the couch because I've been sleeping on the couch because I've been sick for the past week.
Wait, you've been sick?
Took the dogs out to shit and then came here.
You've been sick?
Yeah. So no, I'm still in my fucking pajamas, man. It's almost noon and I have.
You need a webcam. I need to see those Scooby-Doo pajamas.
You were seeing me in my pajamas, my jet blue pajamas, which is my sweatshirt. But I'm sorry that you're sick. Why didn't you say anything, dude? No wonder your nose was all stuffed up. You made it sound like my nose is all stuffed up and I don't know why.
Oh, no. It's because I was getting over a cold. I'm practically over it by now. I'm cool.
Okay. Well, is the YouTube channel shut down so that we can actually close out the regular show?
Not just yet. I thought. The Health Report with Nick DiNicola. So, Nick, I heard you had a cold and you were sniffling and sleeping on the couch. Are you taking that medicine, that sniffling, sneezing, stuffy head so you can rest medicine?
Yes, I have. And it has been working fantastically.
Yes, it has.
I'm hiding. Oh.
You were behind the banner, yeah. All right, we're going to sign off of YouTube, and then we'll finish up the podcast in a normal way. But thanks, everybody that tuned in today.
And if you want to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website, and gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. And we have a Twitter at Gamehounds, and we also have the video channel that we will be showing up next week is Gamehounds Vids on YouTube. And then finally, we have the Facebook page that is got news throughout the week. In fact, tons of shift codes. If you're playing Borderlands 3,
I got a few of those myself, yes.
Piss Boy, who manages our Facebook page, is doing an amazing job putting up shift codes. If you're playing Borderlands 3, go get your shift codes. Don't use them until you hit level 50, but go get and bank all of your shift codes because you're going to want them if you're going to go to the end game.
All right, cool.
And that's the Gamehounds on Facebook.
Yeah, if you go to facebook.com/thegamehounds, that's where we are on Facebook there. And I might have some more on my channel at some point there, but we'll shift it over there to the official Gamehounds channel. Today was just kind of a test run, see how it all went. I had a lot of fun being on camera and seeing faces and having two chats going. So we have the archive on Spreaker and we have the YouTube going. So Wednesdays could be fun again. We're putting the hump back in hump day.
Yep. All right. So YouTube, talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
And now it's just us Spreaker people.
I'm not sure if I'm going to lose you guys, though. Hang on 1 second.
Oh.
If we do, just do it without me.
All right.
All right.
And I'll be doing it without you and Nick.
That's fine. We'll see what happens. I figure.
All right. I will close out the show by myself.
All
right. Yeah. So we're closing out YouTube.